Just to give you an idea real quick, you know, this is a small house. You know, there's the tank in front of it, so it scales up really nice. You could scale these up to 28 millimeters. So if you're a bolt action player and you play 28 mil versus 15 mil, you can scale those houses up. You don't have to change a thing. You don't have to ask the author to do it. You can go right into your slicing software and scale it up. Next, it just wouldn't be a Made with MakerGear without something from PrintableScenery.com. Let me try and center all this back up. So, he's had one Kickstarter. I can't see the front of that. Let me look. Yeah, it's pretty straight. I don't have any of this glued together, so I'm going to glue some of this together once this video is done, so I wanted to be able to show it. PrintableScenery.com. The guy kills it. He's got the best designs on the internet right now for 3D models, hands down, on there. He did a Kickstarter. He did the Indiegogo. All this stuff is available right now. So if you want to purchase this and print this piece right here, the mill, is my largest filament use on any one print so far. This one you print for yourself on there. You know, if your buddies want one of these that you game with, you know, at your house or something like that, have them drop a roll of filament on the table. Because this piece right here is going to run about $7 in filament, which is going to be about 30% of your roll on there. So there's a lot here. But if you look at the detail, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to pull all these pieces off so we can see them. But yeah, this is 3 levels in height. So here's the roof. Take a look at the roof. This is 0.2 millimeter on the MakerGear. That is awesome. That is a serious chunk of plastic. And you know, here's the inside right here. Didn't have to print this one with any supports. Good design, and this is something going forward, you know, with myself on the design. He designed this on a slope that made so you didn't need to use the supports on the inside. This is good 3D printing design right here. So you can take this, you can put it on your build platform, you can hit print, and you don't have to have all the support in here because you don't have these hard 45s that are coming up and over that will cause your filament to start drooping and stuff like that. But here's the roof. This is the next smaller level. You'll see that's where the chimney goes up, and this is what the roof sits on. So let's spin this around. Then we have basically our ground floor level. So this is where your NPCs, you can put them in this room and stuff like that where they're standing in there. You've got your, basically your support structure going up. Your, I'm assuming, might be a fire, well, that column that goes up. And stuff like that. So you got your window up front, and that's what, you know, this sits over the top. Now all these holes right here he's got in, these all those holes all, oops, sorry, they all line up right there on the bottom. So when you go to put this together, you know, I want this piece to stay on the floor base at the bottom. I don't care what's underneath my thing. But you can put posts in here, so when you've got it set down, it's locked together and it doesn't slide like this. That is a first from anybody that I've seen doing a building that's putting reference points in there. And so that's good design because they all line up, you know, like they should and stuff. So this guy, he's got some talent, or whoever's doing this stuff has got some talent. This is the doorway that goes in. I chopped this little part out. I still got more stuff to whittle out of there. I'm not sure if I was supposed to or not, but I did. So this is where the entrance is going to be. I thought this was pre-put in support structure stuff, and it may be, but I'm going to just finish cutting this out on the inside so it's a nice smooth opening in there. But this is where you come up the walkway, and then here's the base. You know, this is a serious chunk of plastic right here, and then this sits right here where you walk up the steps and then into the inn. And then, of course, or not the inn, the mill. Wouldn't be a mill without the water. So this prints in 2 pieces. You've got, you know, it'll print flat and then work its way up. So this piece right here, this side right here, was against the board, and then it printed and it came up. And then this top part, you just print that by itself and glue it too. So I did glue this part together here, and it does have a flat bottom, so it doesn't roll around, but it does sit on the table, you know, right next to the mill. And then this piece right here just caps right onto there. So if we put it all back together, put it this way, and then this right here on the side. Yeah, so here's a War Machine fig. Oop, and put it on this side. Yeah, so it's for scale right there. Yes, that's a 50 millimeter base, so a 2-inch base fig. You know, so this is a big chunky piece. Like I said, biggest piece I've printed so far. One of the best looking pieces I've printed so far. 0.2 millimeter on the MakerGear, 10% infill, Matter Hackers PLA Pro. All right, make some more ready. So I got a new printer. I got the Wanhao, and when you go to the Wanhao forums, they say there's some suggested upgrades that you do to the printer. So I'm like, all right, I got time. So I ordered one is called the Y-Brace, which is some rods, and I'll show all that when it gets put together. But I wanted to print my parts, and here's the advantage of having two printers. I got the MakerGear that prints like a pro. So I'm going to print all my parts on that and then use them on the Wanhao. One, I know my printer, I know this printer, the MakerGear, pretty well after 5 months, 4.5 months, 5 months of using it. So the pieces that are coming out, I mean, they look phenomenal. So I got some pretty high infill on these. This is like 30%. There's no way I'm going to snap that. And then I've got all the pieces are going to tie it down. I've got new thumb wheels that I'll put in here, that if you look on the back, you see how nice that prints? That takes a certain size hex nut that'll pop right into there. So that was nice. This right here is the filament guide that I'll put on top. And then this right here is a DI cooler. I bought a new fan because out of the test prints I did, the cooling fan is probably the weakest point of that printer so far. Just getting that consistent cooling. So this right here is a newer design that somebody made that works really good. Bought a little cheap $8 fan off of Amazon that's going to snap right in here. Actually, I bought 2 of them because I'm sure I'll want to wear out or break or something down the road. So I usually, if I'm going to buy a part and it's like $10, I'll buy 2 or 3 on there. That way, if I ever need it again, I have it right here. But that's the cooler for it. This was printed in Matter Hackers yellow. This yellow is awesome. So this is a PLA from, not Matter Hackers. This is Hatchbox, sorry. This is Hatchbox yellow. Just a regular PLA on there, but the yellow is just fantastic. I really, really, really like that color. I'm going to pop, this is back to that 28 millimeter bar. I don't even know if you can see this. That's a wine bottle. That's one of the accessories that'll print off there. And so I printed a whole row of these on the MakerGear, and it printed just fine. Prints just, no raft, no support. I mean, you don't need support on that, but being able to get the little detail of that bottle. I got a, oh my God. You see that? That's a mug. I can't even. Let's see if you can. I know, yellow on yellow. That was smart. Let's try yellow on gray. There you go. Should be a little bit easier to see. That's a beer stein that's printed on the MakerGear. So not only can you print big, like this, you can also print detail like that. So got to print a whole bunch of these out to fill up that bar. All right, back to, what are we at? Oh my God, we're at 30 minutes. I'm gonna take this stuff out. I'm just gonna pour it out right here. Decided to make another, I got a light blue color from Matter Hackers, and decided to print another dice box. So this is the Retribution to Skyra symbol that's in that box. That's for War Machine. And this is a really, really nice, you know, so this is the Matter Hackers PLA Pro in their light blue on there. So this is a sweet color. I showed this to somebody at work, and her son is in the Coast Guard. So she had me do another tray just like that, but put the Coast Guard logo in there for him, just to keep his stuff in. All right, what else do we got? I printed some feet for the other printer, but these have since been superseded by the new Y bracket thing. This is what I'm calling Dicebox 2.0, and I've learned two things about with this dice box already and PLA, and why I will probably move the PETG somewhere down the road for stuff like this. I decided to put the shape in the front on here, so when you're rolling the dice, it's easier to see. Your opponent can actually see through here, and I've used this a few times already, and it actually worked pretty good. So if I'm rolling dice, you know, they're easy to see. You know, oops, missed the box on there. You know, everything goes in there fine, and then I can store my dice right up here. You know, like this right here is a 25 millimeter. This is a 1-inch die, you know. And so you don't got to worry about cock die or anything like that. The indentation is not deep enough to cock a dice. And so I did that. But since I've learned is that I live in Florida, and it gets hot. And I left this in my car. And this is the first piece that I've had that started to warp on there. It started to pull from these two corners in. So when they say don't leave PLA in the car, they mean it. You don't want to leave your stuff in the window. And being this is Florida and it's already hit 90 degrees up here already, that the car turns into about 200 degrees when it sits there all day. And I don't know if the sun directly hit this or not, but, and I mean, we're talking, it only pulled up just a little bit right here. You can see right there. It doesn't affect the box at all. The box still doesn't move. It rolls dice fine. But that's something for me to think about for the future, because I like to do the same print with PETG, and I do have a roll of PETG here. PETG, has a higher melting point, so, and it's a harder material, so when you're done printing, I'm not as susceptible to warp based on heat. So it's more like ABS, but it's, you know, the water bottles that you buy in a store are made out of PETG, or a PET plastic. And so I have a spool of red over there, and once I get around to tweaking out the printer some, because I don't want to switch between the filaments. When you jump from PLA to PETG and try to jump back, you know, that old PETG is still going to be in the nozzle. So I would change a nozzle out probably, you know, and I have a whole bunch of nozzles that I bought to do those test prints with, because it's a different type of thing to print with. It prints hotter. You don't use the cooling fan when you print with it and some other stuff, but that's still a little ways down the road. But just keep in mind when you're doing your prints, don't keep them in your car, especially if it's a broad, flat print like this. A dungeon tile, I think you're going to be fine. You know, something like this, you're going to be fine unless you leave it in your back window on there. But something that's flat, that's got a lot of flat surface on here, and then this big void, it already has forces that try to pull this up when you're printing anyways. But the sun just helped with that some. So it's an interesting test. I do like the holes that are in this, so that was neat. So again, it's something I designed. That's the Scorn logo. I'm playing Scorn now for the rest of the year in War Machine. It's a Hordes faction, but in War Machine and Hordes. So designed that, you know, so this is Dicebox 2.0. Now, speaking of the War Machine, War Machine used to do coins when you win, so you used to get a nice big, about the size of a silver dollar coin. Well, they went to pins. which is okay on there. I like the coins better, but the pins are nice on there. But when you get a pin, yeah, we put our War Machine stuff on the mantle out here. The trophies, the coins, and the coin holders. Somebody used to laser cut acrylic for the coin holders. So, but with the pins, you got to lay them flat on the mantle. You can't see them unless you go down and look at it. So I was tweaking around in Tinkercad, trying to come up with something to hold the metal. So this is the first iteration on there, which it wasn't bad, but it was way too top heavy. And I'm like, that, I don't know if that's quite going to work. And it looked a little bland when it was sitting out, with the pin on it, nothing else around it. So I said, oh, maybe I can add the word steamroller, because that's what it is. The tournament format that you play in is a War Machine steamroller format. And I just put the date down at the bottom. Well, I've learned what a stencil font is and what a stencil font is not. And this is not a stencil font. So if you look at the 2016 down there for 2016, you'll notice that the little thing in the middle of the 0 is not there. I didn't even think about that when I was printing it out. And I'm like, oh, look what just happened. So, and I didn't even realize about the stencil fonts until I talked to a friend of mine that owns a t-shirt business, and he said, yeah, you need to use stencil fonts on something like that, because the stencil would have had a small connector that went to those center pieces, like in the O in roller, and stuff like that. So that was take 2. I changed the back so that the center point wasn't in the middle like that one, and this seemed to work a little bit better, but it was too straight up and down. So the final iteration was right here. So this was before talking to him about the stencil font. So what I did is I did the same thing, but I didn't go all the way through the piece that I made. So I increased the angle in the back. You'll see it's just got little button clips that it sits on, but it holds the pin nice. It says Steamroller 2016. Any War Machine player is immediately going to know what that is on there, and that's the first place pin that you get. That was that when I got back from Orlando. This was that tournament that I won, and so I put the pin on that. Thought it came out pretty good. It leans back fine and good, so that's about it. What are we in? God, we're over 30 minutes in. But if you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. So going forward, class is done. I'm going to hit the summertime here, so we moved to 4-day work weeks during the week. I'll get a little more extra time on there. So more printing, more design, more Hurt Starts, I promise. The people that subscribe for Hurt Starts, I talk to somebody online all the time. It's killing me that I got some stuff back there I really, really need to do, and I just didn't have time to do it. So this should open up my time more. Do some more fun stuff. Do some actual design work. I really want to start pushing on the design. Get some of this stuff that I've done painted up, and keep showing you guys some neat stuff that's out there. So that's about it. I do want to give a shout out to Jason B. I think it's Jason B. Let me double check. Joseph B. He is another purchaser of a MakerGear M2. I should have put this at the beginning of the video, and I apologize, but it's at the end of the video. And if you made it all the way here, either you're super into 3D printing, or you're really honestly considering maybe buying one of these MakerGear M2s. So probably got 4 or 5 people now that have bought that M2 based off this channel, which is great. I've gotten 4 emails for sure on people that have bought it, so it's really neat. So I have a good time with it, and I appreciate all the new subscribers. The subscriber count is it's going up pretty good. Is a 3D printing nerd going up pretty good? No. But, I'm up 45 subscribers in the last 30 days, which, big thank you. If you like this content, keep hitting that subscribe button, and I'll keep pushing stuff out. I'm going to get some more of the printablescenery.com stuff, and we'll get that printed out so you can see it. We'll get some of this stuff on the table, too, and I do have a wireless mic set up and things like that, so I can actually record some of our games or gameplay using some of this terrain and just put it out there. That's for people that might be interested what this stuff looks like on a table, how you can use it, and things like that. So again, appreciate you guys for watching. There'll be links to this stuff in the show notes. If you want to try printing this stuff, go to those links and grab it. It prints good. If you buy MakerGear, let me know, and I'll throw your name on the channel, and we'll keep going from there. So, thanks for watching. I'm 30 minutes in, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.